Hey guys, welcome back to Medical Coding with Blue. Okay, so today we are talking about job interview tips for medical coders. Now, this can apply to medical billers as well if you're applying to be a medical biller, or for any other profession, okay? Of course, when we start talking about the medical coding part, of course, that's going to be geared towards medical coding. So, we're going to touch on a few topics today, but I want to start out with your outward appearance. Whenever you are going to interview for jobs and things like that, if you look really good on paper, you need to look equally as good in person, okay? Now, if you say, well, I don't have any money, I don't have money to go get it clothes or anything like that, there are plenty of organizations that are able to help. I went through Dress for Success, and I will leave the link for their organization down in the description box below, along with my email. So if you have any questions, you can shoot them over to me. Let me know. But there is a Dress for Success in every major city, okay? In almost every major city, I should say. And they are a wonderful organization. They give you clothes to go out and do an interview in. So at least this way it can get you started and get you going. Yes, we were all there. I mean, I went from having a job that was paying minimum wage to being a medical coder. And of course, I had to have help to get clothes because I didn't have any money, and there's nothing wrong with asking for help. You may have to go to your local church for help as well, or go to your employment office and see if there's any agencies that can help if you are having a clothing issue, okay? But you want to be given all the tools, or you need to gather all the tools, I should say. You need to gather all the tools that you can in order to set yourself up the most for success, okay, when you are going out into the real world and you are applying at jobs. Now, a lot of people ask me, how can I get hired if everybody wants experience? You apply anyway. I have said this on other videos and I'm going to say it again. Regardless of whether they want experience or not, you still apply anyway. Do you know why? Because sometimes they can't get people in and they just get so desperate that they end up hiring somebody who has no experience so that they can go ahead and train them and get them in and get the help that they need, okay? It's all going to depend on whatever the situation is for that particular organization, facility, or doctor's office, okay? So you want to make sure that you are putting yourself in whatever situation you want to be hired in, okay? Now, if they have inpatient, outpatient coding, ER coding, you want to apply for anything that you can, okay? Anything that has related to coding. Or if you can't get in with coding, you can always try to go in with medical records. You can always try to get in with billing, okay? If you have your medical coding credential and you want to get in with billing and start your career there, at least you have some experience. It'll show that you have some type of background already looking at medical codes. So you want to make sure that any experience that you've had with medical coding, if you've had any, like if you're coming from the billing side, then you need to put that on your resume because otherwise they are not going to know. If you say that you are a former medical biller, you're trying to get into medical coding, okay, that doesn't mean anything to the employer because you're not really stating what you did. If you're just saying that you're processing claims, okay, anybody could process claims. You don't have to be certified to be a medical biller. Anybody with a high school diploma can go into a medical billing office, apply, and get hired. They don't even have to have all of this other training, okay? So I want you to be able to know how to showcase all of your talents because the number one question that they're going to ask you when you go in for an interview is, what can you tell me about yourself? And if you say, strike number one, okay, strike number one. When you reach out your hand to interview with people, let's just say that you're there and you're ready and you've got your nice outfit on and you've passed your test, because they will test you before they even interview you, before they even have you fill out any paperwork. They're going to give you an assessment to see what you know about medical coding. Now, if you can pass that, you're already on your way to impressing them. So when you say, for instance, you pass that and they say, oh, we're really interested in meeting this person because they don't have any experience, but they did pass the test. So let's meet them and see what they're like. Go in there with a firm handshake. If you go in there and you say, hi, my name is Blue, and my name is Blue, and it's nice to meet you. And I do this number. You see how my hand is just barely touching? No. Yes, I know. I know. I'm not even going to say it right now because I'm so sick of hearing about it. But let's just say your hands are sanitized, the other person's hands are sanitized, and you go for a handshake. Make it a firm handshake. Do not do the stupid dead fish handshake. I'm sorry. It is. Like if you're just barely touching, no. I do not like that. And to me, if I see somebody that does that, what does that say about them? That they are not that they're not really serious, perhaps, about getting that job. You want to go in there, you want to be confident because that's what they're going to be looking for as well. Nobody wants to have to handhold somebody that is really timid, okay? You need to go in there with some confidence, okay? I understand that it's scary, and I know that there's going to be people that tell me, Blue, I have anxiety and I have panic attacks. I don't know if I can do this. Yes, you can. If you need to hear it, yes, you can. Because I used to be very shy, and I have many stories about how I broke out of that shyness. But I will tell you guys that I used to be very shy. Do I still get shy sometimes right now? Of course I do. You know, like when I meet somebody and I feel like their energy's a little off, I might get a little bit nervous. But if they have really good energy, I'm much more confident because when I feel like somebody's a little abrasive right away, it's sort of my antennas go up and I'm like, oh no, you know what I mean? Like I need to kind of brace myself for this. But when you are going to go meet somebody, and especially an employer, you want to put forth a good impression. So having a good, confident impression that you're putting out of yourself is going to help you, okay? And you might say, well, Blue, I just want interview tips. This is your base of interview tips. You need to have a strong handshake and you need to have a good first impression, okay? You need to be going in there looking very nice and sharp, okay? Because everybody can remember somebody who looks sharp. Now you need to be memorable, but in a good way. You need to show that you have these positive qualities because trust me, that leader, that person that's interviewing you, or maybe it's a panel, they're looking to see is this person going to be able to handle this provider? Is this person going to be able to handle this kind of workload or this kind of duties or whatever the case may be? You need to go in there with lots of confidence. Read the body language books. Body language books will help you. And I will put some in on my Instagram again. But body language books help you because it's twofold. It's a secret weapon is what I like to say. It will help you to know how to carry yourself more confidently because, you know, you want to walk into a room, shoulders back, and you want to put forth this good energy, and you want to make sure that people know that you are there for business, okay? This way, when they see that, they know that they can't run over you. This is not somebody that's just going to just be lackadaisical. This is going to be a person who's a team player. This is going to be a person who's going to be worth it to be hired into this organization. Because, you know, guys, it takes a lot of money to hire somebody. You have to be able to pass a background check, and who has to pay for that? The employer. You have to be able to pass a drug screen, okay? And again, who pays for that? The employer, okay? So make sure that if you have anything in your background that you're very honest about it, okay? Because it's going to come out anyway. They do run background checks on people, okay? Same thing with the drug screen. Why you would try to be on drugs and work in a hospital or work in a doctor's office, I don't know. But if you test positive for drugs, they're not gonna look too kindly on that because you have to be of sound mind when you are working with people's medical records. This is private, sensitive information. So you want to make sure that you're not doing any of that illicit stuff because you want to be able to get in and work in a good job. Because this, trust me, this field, while it is, it'll make you want to pull your hair, your own hair out. It is exciting. It is fun. Me personally, and I don't care what anybody says, I can't wait sometimes to get to work. Now, you may think, well, whatever you want. You can think whatever you want about me. But I will say this. I enjoy going to work every day. Now, this is a career and profession that I've been in for over a decade. And I think if you find a job that you really love and that you enjoy and that you can't wait to get to, or you want to learn every single day about, or you want to spend time learning about it more, I think that's a wonderful thing. Because like they say, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. That is how I feel. I don't feel like I work, even though I know I work. Trust me, I work. I don't feel like that because I feel like I am doing something that I love. And I enjoy it. And then I come here with you guys and I share it with you. So, and of course, the growth of my channel is so exciting. And I know that's a little veered off the topic, but this is my show. And I want to tell you guys that I really appreciate y'all. And if you haven't had a chance to hit that little bell and the subscribe button and the thumbs up button, I hope that you consider doing that now because we got a lot more to go on. So anyway, that was my own little thing. So going back to the interview process, they're going to ask you, what can you tell me about yourself? That's one of the questions that they're going to ask you when you're in an interview, because every time I've been interviewed, that's the one question that they do ask me. What can you tell me about yourself? Me personally, I like to read. I'm always reading all the time. I love to travel, and I talk about the things that, of course, they're going to know that there are some things that are granted. Of course, maybe you like hanging out with your family or your friends or your kids or whatever, and they know those run-of-the-mill answers. They want to know about you. What is it that makes you tick? Are you somebody that can mesh well with their group? They're going to want to know. And don't be like, well, I'm into everything. No. If you're into something in particular, if you're maybe into classical music and you spend your evenings listening to Bach and Chopin or, whoever, Beethoven, talk about that. If you are if you like golfing, cool, talk about that. If you are an avid basketball player, talk about that. Anything, you want to be able to connect with them on something, and maybe that's what they're looking for too, because you're going to be working around these people for 40 plus hours per week. Okay, even if you are doing remote coding, if you are a veteran coder and you are looking to get into remote coding, of course, they're going to still want to be able to connect with you in some way. If you're a brand new coder, I'm going to tell you right now, it's next to impossible to get a job as a remote coder, as a brand new medical coder, okay? And you are going to want to spend some time with other medical coders so that you can get that experience behind you. Because working from home, trust me, is a whole nother animal. Okay, so when you talk about yourself, talk about the things that make you unique, okay? For me, I can do many impressions of people. I can do funny voices. I can do a lot of things. And while sometimes my humor is very dry, I do crack people up. I do make people laugh because it's just me. I am naturally a positive person, and that is what I enjoy doing. I'm also very much into the details, and I talk about that as well. I am very detail oriented, and I do talk about the things that showcase how I am detail oriented. That's saying that you're detail oriented and then not giving anything to back it up is not going to support your statement of I'm a detailed person, because they'll say, oh really? Well then, And a good interviewer will ask you a follow-up question on that. Well, what do you mean by that? So make sure that you are saying your answer, but following it up with something else to support it, okay? Don't give don't give one word answers. If they ask you a yes or no question, don't just say yes or no, okay? Say yes and then follow it up with supporting why you said yes. If you're saying no, follow it up with something so you can say no because of this, and this. Or yes because of this, and this. Don't ever leave it with a one-word flat answer. Yes, no, I don't know. Whatever you do, stay away from the I don't know. Don't do that. I'm telling you, that's a interview killer right there, is I don't know. Okay? You can always say, if you don't know the answer to a question, you can say, well, I'll have to do some research on that, or I'm not as familiar, but I know this, okay? Support it with something that you do know about that topic, okay? Always make sure that you are not saying I don't know, because you want them to be equally as engaged with you, and you want to show that you are wanting to be there, okay? That is the most important thing. You have to pass your assessment, and you have to make sure when you are doing the interview process that you are engaged with them, that you can show that you want to be there. And especially because if you're a brand new medical coder, you have to show that you are hungry enough to be able to do anything and everything that they want you to do. And if they ask you, do you have a clinic preference? Do you have a specialty preference? Say that you're open for anything. Because when you sit there and you just say, oh no, well, yes, I do have a clinic preference. I like to do cardio, or I like to do peds, and that's all I like to do. And that's what I studied. That's what I'm most familiar with. You're going to go probably from being here on the list to about here, because they want somebody that is going to be able to be willing to be put anywhere that they want to put you. And the more clinics and the more specialties that they put you in, or that they're willing to put you in, the more experience you're going to have to put on your resume. That's what you want. You want to engage that power of yes. That yes, you are willing to do whatever it is that whatever clinics they have open, whatever specialties they have open, whether it's the ER, or whether it's peds or ortho or podiatry. You want to be willing to say yes to anything, because typically as medical coders, although some medical coders will disagree with me, and that's okay, you don't have to agree with everything I say. But here's the thing. If you are a medical coder, if you're a certified medical coder, you should be able to be dropped into any specialty, any clinic, any setting, and be able to pick it up within a couple of days after some research. Because as coders, we know how to do research. And while some of us haven't done everything, we should be able to be dropped into a clinic and learn how to do it through whatever channels of learning that we need to use. As time goes on, you'll find a arsenal of references that you can use, and that way you can learn whatever clinic setting that you're in, okay? But you have to be willing to say yes, and you have to be willing to be, okay, yes, I can do this. And even though you haven't done it, believe in yourself. Just believe in yourself. You passed the certification exam. Believe in yourself. Now you got to get this job. And like I said, apply everywhere, because they are going to, all these listings, they're going to say they want 1 to 2 years of experience. They are going to say that, regardless of whether they want it or not. They're going to say, we want 1 to 2 years of experience. This is why I tell you guys to be prepared. And even though you may be looking for a job for a while, it's okay. Stay on top of your studies. Continually review the book. And if you're working another job, that's fine. But continually review that book, because when you do get that interview and you do take that assessment, whether you pass that assessment or not is going to be the determining factor of whether or not you're going to even get that interview. So if you want to be a medical coder, you still need to continue to study, even if you are still looking for a job a year later. Because if you can't pass their assessment, you're not even going to get in the door. Okay? So that's where you need to make sure that you are on top of your game. Okay? So do that. What else can I say about interviews? The test, everybody is different. The assessment test to test your knowledge about medical coding is going to be different for every single facility. So wherever you apply, it's just going to be different. That's why I tell you guys to make sure you're reviewing your ICD-10 guidelines, make sure you're reviewing your evaluation and management guidelines and the CPT book, okay? Just keep continually going over it. That way you could be ready. And they're going to ask you basic questions on how to code, some coding conventions and things like that. But like I said, every single place is going to be different. There are some assessment tests that I have taken that were 20 like multiple choice questions, and then it was like maybe 4 scenarios. I've had one that was 8 scenarios before. And they gave me a couple of days to take it. But yes, just do the best you can on those. And like I said, they should be able to give you the results of your test. But if you missed something, you can ask them, hey, well, what did I miss, and just sort of ask them and see if you can know how to study more, or, they'll be able to see that, hey, this person is interested in getting better. Maybe we might want to give them a chance. And be gracious to them. Thank them for interviewing you, giving you the chance to just sit and interview. And if they say right away, well, we really want people who have experience, that's okay. Just sit and talk with them as long as they'll let you, okay? But like I said, be gracious to them. Give them a nice firm handshake. Look them in the eye. Do not chew gum, whatever you do. Now I know this is a tip. This is an interview tips video. Do not chew gum. Do not have anything in your mouth, okay? You can be chewing on a mint, but you got to get rid of that mint before you get in there, okay? You don't want to have anything that's going to be distracting, okay? Like I said, look professional. Do not have the wild nails for ladies. Do not have the wild nails. Men, get a nice button-down shirt, maybe a tie, okay? And if you don't want to wear a tie, that's okay. Just get a coat to go with it, a nice jacket to go with it, so that way you can look professional. You want to be as professional at all times as you possibly can. Now, I always encourage ties on men, dresses on ladies, or slacks, but I know some people don't like that. But I just encourage nice, sharp look, okay? Because that nice, sharp look is going to get you remembered. And then your personality and your brain, okay? In short order, okay? But it's different for other people. But the first impression they're going to get of you is what you look like the second you walk in that door, and how you carry yourself. So be confident, and whatever you do, if they tell you, well, we can't hire you, or we're not going to hire you, that's okay. If they tell you, we'll call you in a week, and they don't call you, follow up in a week and see, I was still interested in the position. I was just wondering if you'd heard anything back. Don't be a pest, okay? But at the same time, do follow it up, okay? Don't expect them to always chase after you, okay? You can follow it up within a respectable amount of time. If it's been a week and you haven't heard anything, call them back. Just say, hey, I just wanted to follow up, and I wanted to thank you for giving me time to talk with you, okay? Again, that's showing graciousness to your interviewers, okay? And remember, you may be in front of a panel of people, okay? So make sure you go in there as confidently as you can. And everybody started out brand new at one time, but you have to learn how to showcase all of your talents and everything that you can bring to this company, to this organization. You got to be able to do that. If you used to be a teacher, or if you know how to do instruction, even if you're a Sunday school teacher, I'm a teacher. I can teach people. I can instruct, and I can lead a conversation. So that's a good way to say that you can handle alpha personalities. Because when you start dealing with those providers, you have to know how to handle those alpha personalities. And it's very, very important. But that is all I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up because I don't want this to run out of time. But join me again. I will be doing some more videos on the weekend about this because I know this is like a season of hiring, and because I've been getting a lot of emails about it. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. And again, we're going to talk about it later on. Some more tips. If you have any other questions, let me know. It may take me a minute to get back to you, but I will get back to you. I am one person answering these. I do answer them personally, and I'm pretty much very responsive. But if it's taking me time, it's because your email is requiring some detail that I need time to email it. I will get back to you, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. But if you are a medical coder, a medical coding student, somebody curious about the fascinating world of medical coding, a provider or a nurse, I invite you to like and subscribe and follow me on my journey in medical coding. I will see y'all next time. Bye!